Well, drop your cocks and grab your socks. It's the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen. This is Caleb Jones as we talk about location-dependent income, dating multiple attractive women without cheating or drama or lying, living the freest lifestyle a man can possibly live. And today we're going to do a fun hybrid topic between Alpha Male 2.0 and Sovereign CEO. These are fun. These are kind of one of my favorites. When the two topics combine. They often do combine because Sovereign CEO is a subset of Alpha Male 2.0. Everything I teach, including my consultings, my hardcore consulting stuff, is a subset of Alpha Male 2.0. Alpha Male 2.0 is the top of the umbrella, so to speak. It's the kraken at the top where you have Spectre, right? All the tentacles come down. So a few of you have asked about this, and I often forget you guys ask about this. So there's a lot of conversation about, and we've talked about this here, about the best countries or regions in the world in which to find women to get laid in. What are the easiest countries to get laid? What are the hottest women? What are the lowest ASD women? What are this, right? You get a lot of conversations about this. I have videos about this, articles about this, okay, podcasts about this. We've talked about this a lot. And it's pretty obvious. And if you're interested in those topics, go on my YouTube channel, go on my podcast, go through the podcast listing, go to my blogs. There's plenty of information there for you. But slightly different twist to this topic is, hey, Caleb, I get getting laid. I understand all that. But what about long-term relationships? So if I want a long-term MLTR or several long-term MLTRs or an OLTR, God forbid an OLTR wife, which means I hope you're over the age of 30. No OLTRs until you're at least 30 years old. I know that makes you mad. I'm sorry, I'm right about this. And no settling down with a woman, moving in with a woman, unless you are at least 35 years old. So if you're in those parameters and you want an OLTR, cool. What are the best countries or regions, Caleb, for finding women of that caliber? Because two different countries. I just did an AMA a little while ago, had two of them. And one of the guys asked on the AMA, hey, do you think Brazil, it's a hilarious question, it made me laugh. You might remember this if you watched that AMA or listened to it. This guy asked me, hey, do you think Brazil is a good country to plow through and bang a bunch of Latina chicks and then settle down and raise a family in? And it made me laugh, and it should make you laugh because those are two completely different fucking things, right? So a country constructed well for one may not be constructed well for the other, and vice versa. And women from a certain country may not be the correct way you want for the other function, right? There's a certain type of woman, at least most guys are like this. I am not like this. All the types are the same for me, but I'm weird. But there's a certain type of woman you want to bang and have fun and date casually. And there's a certain type of woman you want to marry and settle down and have kids with, right? Right. So those regions where you have the more loose women or the more, lower ASD women or the more crazy girls and, whatever, may not be those same regions where you want to find your, your future wifey poo, your soulmate, where you can raise your little children somewhere, right? Right. Now, maybe there is some overlap. Maybe some of those places are the same. I think in Central America, there are places that apply to both those things. But let's talk about this. So let's talk about the regions of the world, the countries of the world, based on my experience, my personal experience, my travel experience, and the experience of talking to thousands of you over the past 16-ish, 15-ish years. See, it's been 60 years since my conversion to Alpha Male 2.0, but it's been about what? That was 2007. 2009 is when I started producing content on the internet, so it was 14 years. So I gotta get these years right. Anyway, I'm trying to be specific for you guys. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So the way I usually do this is I kind of I view the world map in my head, and I just kind of go down the continents. So let's first look at Canada and United States. Are these good places for long-term relationships? Less now than before is the standard answer. It was a lot better 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's a lot worse today. The economy is collapsing. The culture is collapsing. Everyone's a left-winger, including modern-day Trump supporters. Wokeism is now a norm. And I just saw a thing the other day where all these guys who hate wokeism, and so do I. However, wokeism is more popular than non-wokeism in the United States right now. So if they run a poll right now and they say, has our culture in the United States gone enough to help people who are of transgender? Has it gone enough? most people will answer by a decent margin, no, it hasn't gone far enough. And the conservatives and Trumpers say it's gone too far, God damn it, but that's actually the minority. So this is the culture in which you live in. So in that kind of culture, you'll have less women who are quality for long-term relationships. However, the United States is a very big country. People forget how big the United States is. 350 million people or something like that. A lot of goddamn women there. So it's not like you couldn't find any. I found one. I'm in a long-term serious relationship. I'm married to my wife, and she's the most wonderful woman on earth. And guess where I found her? The United States. Now, true, I had to go through a lot of women, or a decent number of women, to find her. But to be fair, it's not like all those women are horrible either. A lot of those women are great too. There are a lot of great American women, but it is harder now than it used to be. So those who say American women are just as good as any other women anywhere are incorrect. But those black pill and red pill, MGTOW-ish, angry guys who say American women are horrible, I have to go find a wife in Eastern Europe because American women are all awful. There's not a single good one. Those are also incorrect. There's plenty of good American women, just harder to find today. Let's go into the Latin world. And so this gets a little tricky because I have not visited every Latin country. I know the Latin regions pretty well. I've been to many Latin countries, spent a lot of time in Latin America. My second home is Paraguay. So let's take a few countries that I'm aware of. Mexico. Is Mexico a decent place to find a long-term romantic partner? The answer is sort of. And this goes for lots of Latina countries, especially the ones that are Mexico, Central America, and Northern South America. Those are the spicy Latinas. What do I mean by spicy? High drama, fiery, passionate. So there's some pros and cons to fiery Latinas. I've been with a few of them. Some of you have too. Very passionate, very exciting, amazing kissers, amazing in bed, sexual, wonderful, low AST, great. Threesomes, okay, fuck my friends, all that good stuff. We like that, don't we? Yes, we do. They're also high drama. They raise their voice. They get mad. They get pissed off. They're constantly screaming and yelling at their own family members. There's constant nonsense. You know this. You guys who dated Latina women, or you're a Latino guy, these women are constantly screaming, yelling, fighting feuds with their own family. But I love them. That's part of the Latina culture. You better get used to it if you're going to marry or have a serious girlfriend with a true blue Latina woman. That's the way it goes. And are there exceptions? Of course. I should say that in this podcast. Yes, there are always exceptions. You stupid nitpickers. Yes. Can you find a Latina who's super low drama? Can you find a Mexican Latina who's super low? Of course you can. Mexico is also a big country. But I'm just saying that's the norm. So if you don't mind that, or if that turns you on, great. I don't do drama, so I am precluded from getting into a serious relationship with most Mexican or other spicy Latina, Central American, North, South American women. Not all, but most. Nothing wrong with those women. They're great. Mexican women are fantastic. My primary FB before I left the United States, the year before I left the United States, was a half white, half Mexican. And another one who was full Mexican. I had two Mexican FBs. They were amazing. They were the sweetest girls on earth. So you can definitely find them. Okay. That's true of places like Central America, maybe minus Panama, because Panama's a little more Western. Colombia. I would assume Venezuela. I've never been there. Okay, places like that. Ecuador, Peru, where they're quality women. They're good women. Salt of the earth, more traditional women, if you like that. A little more drama. Okay, you'll be arguing a little more, dealing with raised voices a little more. Part of the deal. Okay, so that's your decision. I don't do drama, so I can't do that, but I already said that. Okay, so if you go down, now let's go down to Brazil. Those women, Latina times 2. Very spicy, wonderful. Some big drama. You can be in for some big temper tantrums. I'm generalizing, but I know guys who have Brazilian girlfriends, Brazilian wives. I've met some Brazilian women. I dated one Brazilian woman many years ago, very briefly. The stereotype is true. You'll get some of that. If you go down to Argentina, more European. So less drama, a little more hottiness. hot, H-A-U-G-H-T, not H-O-T, haughty, proud behavior, which is fine. It might be okay. I am quite sure you could find a quality woman in Argentina. I'm quite sure. There's a certain look to Argentinian women. I'm not a huge fan. They're not ugly. There are absolutely smoking hot 10s in Argentina though too, and Uruguay as well. Then let's go to Paraguay. Could you find a good girl in Paraguay? Yes. Now, Paraguay women, the physical appearance, you have to factor that in there. They're a very different look. Very flat chests, very big asses, cute faces, but not hot. They're not 9s and 10s in Paraguay. They're not. Their bodies are, if you like the big ass. Oh my God. And their faces are very cute. 7s, 8s. Okay, yes. But very sweet. They are sweethearts in Paraguay. One of the reasons I like Paraguay. It's not big on my list. I'm married, but you get my point. So sure, you could. And you know, if you're one of these hardcore red pill right-wingish guys, you've got this stupid thing where you don't want to marry a woman who's too attractive. What the fuck are you smoking? You know, I think it was Roosh that first started talking about that. I married a smoking hottie, and I don't regret it. So I strongly recommend marry a smoking hottie and have sex with other smoking hotties, non-monogamous relationship or marriage. Okay, let's go over to Europe. Europe is very hard to generalize about. So I'm going to try to generalize. I'm generalizing, okay? Northern Europe, Scandinavia, very feministy women. Strong, dominant, feministy chicks. It's true. All of them? No. But there's enough of them. It is accurate. I've gotten a lot of reports from a lot of men, both men who live there and are native to those countries and men who visit there and have experienced dating other women in other countries, and they go to Scandinavian countries, they go, oh my God, very attractive, very pretty, but you're in for a fight. So I don't know if you would go there. I don't know if that was to be the first region you'd pick, unless you like those kinds of women. Then you have Western Europe. You've got France, Germany, UK, Western, same as America, not as good as it used to be. We could make all kinds of stereotypes about German women, and I won't. I have some German FBs, so I gotta be nice about what I say in case they watch this video. But in terms of long-term partners, I wouldn't have a problem with German women at all. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. Sounds good to me. A lot of right-wing chicks there, not as bad as Scandinavia, but be aware of that. British women, same as American women. Same thing as French women, a little more passionate, a little, but not as much as they used to be. There's a very big difference between French women now and French women 25 years ago, in my view. But okay. Now let's go to Eastern Europe. This is the part where so many men are very excited about. Eastern Europe, I want to find a traditional woman who's white and is a Republican and a virgin and will treat me like an alpha male, respect my authority. All right. So here's the bottom line on the generalization on Eastern European women. I'm generalizing. They're not all like this. I did an entire article on Russian women. It was one of the biggest articles ever written. And why don't date Russian women? You can go look that up if you Google alphamale20.com space why don't date Russian women or date Russian women. It'll come up. I give numerous examples of numerous Russian women I have dated over the years in the United States, to be fair, not in Russia. But it was the same exact behavior set over and over and over and over and over and over again from many, many completely different Russian girls who didn't know each other. And I was dating all races. I've dated all races, all nationalities, and it was only the Russian girls doing this. So there is a darkness to the Russian culture that does extend to a lot of Eastern European cultures. Belarus in particular. Belarus is basically as bad as Russia. So I would not recommend a long-term relationship with a Russian woman. You're going to deal with a lot of drama, a lot of ASD, a lot of over-traditional stuff, a lot of anger, a lot of dominant behavior. Yes, she'll be a traditional woman. She'll want traditional roles. You know what, though? There are a lot of gold diggers, too. She's going to put her foot down and say, you need to buy this and buy that and buy this and buy that. And if you don't, she's going to get mad. Okay? Not my biggest thing. Are there some Eastern European women who are wonderful? Yes. I have a Ukrainian FB. She's amazing. But that's the exception. Okay? Now, not all Eastern European countries like that. I mean, Estonia, Latvia, a little lighter. Sure. That's fine. Yeah. I have not much to say about those, but they're a little less bad. Could you find a quality woman in Eastern Europe to marry? Of course you could. You're just got to, go through a lot of, it's like in the United States. You got to go through a lot of women you're not going to like. So what kind of patience do you have for that? It's up to you. All right, Africa, I really can't really speak to Africa. Wish I could. Middle East is so here's the deal. There is the shithole Middle East, and there is the first world Middle East. And the first world Middle East is really 3 countries. It is the UAE, where I live, Bahrain, and Qatar. Americans or Westerners call it Qatar. I've already talked about that. Dubai is not the best place in the world to date to find a girlfriend and wife. Could you? Yes, but very high SMV culture, lots of gold diggers, lots of those Instagram OnlyFans chicks here, lots of women who immediately ask you how much money you make and what do you do for a living and what's your car. And that's a very common thing here in Dubai. Women come from all over the world to Dubai for that reason. So not the best place on earth to find someone. Could you? Yes, you could. I could, but it would take a lot of work. So there are better places. The shithole Middle East, I've not spent a lot of time. I really can't speak to that. Let's see. So Asia. Asia's interesting. Now we're talking. Yes, if you don't mind Asian girls. So there are guys who love Asian women. There are guys who are like me who love all races. I think all races are beautiful, just about. White women are great, and Asian women are great, and Latin women are great. I love them all. They're beautiful. And so I've dated plenty of all those people. And then there are some guys that say, I don't want an Asian girl. Okay, if you don't want an Asian girl, if you don't want to marry an Asian girl and have half Asian kids, ew. Okay, then don't do that. But if you're cool with that, I would be perfectly fine with that if I wasn't married to Pink Firefly. I don't care. Matter of fact, my last girlfriend was Asian. I don't mind that at all. I think they're beautiful. Yes. You could find, there's many Asian countries where you could find a sweet Asian girl to settle down with. Thailand, yes. Vietnam, a little harder, but yes. Cambodia, definitely. Sure. Laos, I don't know. Malaysia, yes. She might be Muslim, but it's a light Muslim down there. It's not like Saudi Arabia. But yes. Indonesia, probably. Indonesia is a very big country. Yes. Singapore, a little harder. Hong Kong, a little harder because you're, more in urban environments, more high tech, keep up the Joneses environments. So you have that. So yes, China, sure, absolutely. Yeah, you bet. Chinese girls can be a little rough around the edges. So be aware. But I met some Chinese girls who were so cute and so sweet, and they would have been great long-term partners. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness. Yes. Japan, absolutely. Yes. So Asia's a good place for this. Those of you who like Asian girls or don't mind Asian girls, or if you're curious about Asian girls, yes. Philippines, my God. So I've already talked about easiest place in the world to get laid. Philippines could be a good place to find a long-term partner. However, the Filipinos are de facto Latinas. So Filipino women are fantastic people. They're always laughing and smiling and having fun and joking around. They're just the greatest. I think Filipino women are the coolest women in the world just to hang with. Not take dating and sex out of it. Just to talk to and joke around with. They're just great people. But they have emotions. They have tempers. And so it's very similar to dating a spicy Mexican Latina. If you seriously date a Filipino woman. I did that once. More than once. More than one. So just be aware of that. It's a different flavor of the Latina, but it's the same, same kind of very overly emotional, temper, tantrums, yelling and screaming. And then she loves you. Then it goes away and then she loves you. It's not like when a white girl yells at you. That's a whole different thing. When a white girl yells at you, she's mad at you for 3 days, right? When a Filipino girl yells at you that you're dating, she yells at you and then in 20 minutes she loves you. It's just how it works. You might think, well, that's great. Again, fine. I don't do any drama. I don't care if you love me after. You don't do any drama. I'm out. But that's me. You have Australia, New Zealand, same thing, standard Western stuff. Left wing, woke, just deal with that. Let's see. That's really it, right? To cover the whole world? Pretty much. Yeah. So that's it. Here's the bottom line on this stuff. Statistically speaking, you can find the long-term wife, mother of your children, girlfriend, woman of your dreams in any country. Unless it's a really tiny country. So in any country with millions of people, statistically, you could find this person. There's no such thing as soulmates, right? So statistically, you can. The question is, do you like that type of woman? Do you like the type of look of that woman? So that's important to you as a man, right? Do you like the culture and the attitude of those kinds of women? And how many women do you have to go through to find that girl? If it's a place like Dubai in the United States, you're going to go through a few. You could find them. You got to go through a bunch, right? If it's Latin America, much less. But you got to deal with the drama problem. So these are the factors you have to put into. But you could, statistically speaking, find a woman in any big country, even in a collapsing Western country. You could do it, right? Right. If you want me to further expand on this topic, I certainly could in a future podcast, because I know you guys ask about this. But I will see you in the next podcast or video. Have fun. Bye.